YouTube went completely mask off about an hour ago, revealing its true intentions of its age verification process being added to the United States. And yes, you did not mishear me. I did not say the United Kingdom, I did not say Europe, I did not say Australia, I said the United States. The effects of censorship and age verification, everything else going on around the world, is now even affecting the United States. For those thinking that it would not come to their doorstep, here we are. So we need to summarize what YouTube means by this response and what they were responding to begin with. So yesterday, it came out that YouTube will start asking for your ID in the United States starting on August 13th, which obviously caused the collective of the internet to get a little bit upset, especially with everything that's been going on in the last 2 weeks, to like everything with payment processors, with Steam, to itch.io, to Collective Shout, to the UK government and their monitoring task force, to Wikipedia being monitored, to having Spotify age verification, to Discord verification, and all these different things, to like politicians in the UK trying to get, actual American companies to bend over and censor themselves. It's been a lot going on back to back, and I can understand that, it's hard for everybody to keep up with what's going on. But basically, everybody's response to this, thanks to this announcement yesterday, was obviously, it's like, oh, so you're bending over for the UK government. Oh, you're falling in line with the censorship that's been ongoing around the world. And a lot of big content creators obviously started talking about this. Makes sense, they should, because this is a pretty big deal. Now, what does YouTube necessarily stand to gain by this? Were they forced to do this, or is this something that they wanted to do for a very long time? So let's dissect this. Let's read the response first. As you mentioned in your reply, this won't be required for all users. We've always had the option for age verification through ID or credit card if someone is incorrectly estimated to be under 18. This update is about using better technology to make these estimations. Now, this is a very corpo response, but it's very clear that most likely the people a part of YouTube and Google probably sat around a table collectively for a bit to be able to kind of figure out how they wanted to word this and post this online, because the heart of the matter is that YouTube doesn't straight up deny that they are implementing a system, an AI system, to be able to determine and estimate if your account is under 18 or not. And as anyone knows, when it comes to YouTube's automated systems, when it comes to copyright ID, copyright strikes, getting in touch with YouTube to begin with, or even getting to talk with someone in email, to just how things are handled anyway in shape and form when it comes to an automated system on YouTube, it doesn't work right. It is not functioning. It barely functions most of the time. And so them incorporating an AI to be able to look at individual accounts, millions of accounts, and determine if this account is, let's say, an adult or not, is obviously going to lead to thousands upon thousands, and that's lowballing it, thousands of people getting hit by this restriction that YouTube is implementing. And they try to brush this off and make it seem like what they're doing is not bad, because they outlined at the beginning saying they've always had an age verification through ID or credit card. And so let's dissect that. Let's rip this apart and talk about this, because I feel like a lot of people are going to assume that YouTube has always had this and people have been fine with it, when it's a very misleading post by them. So let's explain that. So first off, we gotta read these first two sentences of YouTube's response. This won't be required for all users. We've always had the option for age verification through ID or credit card. And this one might cause a lot of people to get confused. Millions of people around the world probably access YouTube and are probably wondering themselves, they have accessed the platform just fine and never had to verify their age. They never had to give over their credit card information or their ID to verify their age for accessing YouTube as a platform. So it's like, what is this? What does YouTube mean that they've always had this system in place? Well, let's explain. First off, if you're someone that is a content creator that gets paid through Google and AdSense in YouTube, then you technically have given over your ID, your governmental ID, to Google to be able to get paid and be able to pay taxes and all that type of stuff. It is something that you've already done in the past. Content creators that get paid for YouTube have already given ID. And then on the other side, you have those that potentially get premium, for instance, YouTube Premium. They've already given over their credit card, and so if their credit card is already on file and it's already posted on the account, then obviously this is what YouTube is talking about. So it is a very misleading first two sentences that YouTube put out here, and it tries to kind of make it go under everybody's nose, make it assume that it's always been there, don't worry about it. But the thing is that the identification to the ID and credit card has always been something that has been willingly given over. For instance, those that give their ID over to Google or YouTube is because they're wanting to get paid through AdSense, get paid for YouTube and Google. And as for those with credit cards or debit cards, it's for those that want to buy YouTube Premium to be able to not deal with the spam ads continuously on the platform that has gotten worse and worse over the years. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But the point is that yes, technically, if we're going along with YouTube's words, they're not full out lying. Like, they're not straight up lying here. However, as I said, it's very misleading. And so we need to dive into what it actually means. This update is about using better technology to make these estimations. Now, these estimations that they actually try to leave out here is through an AI. They straight up admitted in a post, and there's multiple articles that cover this, that there will be an AI training itself to determine if you are a minor or not, if you're under 18. And as I already said, anything that is used with automation or anything that is automated on the YouTube platform or Google, it doesn't work right, especially with AI as well. There's going to be thousands upon thousands of people that are going to be hit incorrectly by this system, and then they're going to be forced to put in their credit card information or their ID. And this is what YouTube is hoping to actually happen. YouTube is hoping to roll out this AI system, and it will estimate if an account is under 18 or not. And what this will theoretically do is that the account will determine if you're an adult or not because of the content or what you engage with. For instance, if you're someone that watches like cartoons, anime, let's plays of games, let's say you just watch content that is for everyone, a wide range spectrum of a lot of people, the AI might determine that you're under 18. And so it'll flag the account and say, oh, you know, you need to determine if you're an adult, so give us your credit card information or give us your ID. And obviously many people that look at this, they're going to opt for giving over their debit/credit card information over their ID. That's typically what I think the normal human would do. If they were to give over something to YouTube, they would give their card information first. So, what does this mean overall? What direction is this going? Well, YouTube's solution is that if you put in your ID or credit card to fix your restriction, most people just use the credit card over putting it in their ID to verify. This means that YouTube sees a potential possibility for the people that put in their card information to one day buy premium. And when I saw this, when I thought of this in my head, when I saw this response from YouTube, I was like, it all makes sense. It all makes so much sense now why YouTube jumped on this bandwagon of age verification. For years now, we've all seen it. YouTube has tried to force people to watch more and more ads, and even went out of their way to block ad blockers. Like, there was a big push even at the beginning of this year where YouTube was trying to remove ad blockers from all sorts of different web browsers. We've all seen it. A lot of people talked about that. So YouTube is desperate to force you to not use ad blockers, desperate to basically make you watch more content or buy their premium subscription. And so we got to look at what this means. If YouTube gets you to not just put your ID on file for your account, but your credit card information, you're more inclined to eventually buy YouTube Premium. You're more inclined to straight up make a purchase and be like, I'm done with these ads. Because if your card information is already attached to your account, you're determined you're an adult, okay? Eventually, you might get fed up with ads, and you're just going to be like, you know what, my card information's already on the site, let's just buy premium. And there you go. YouTube got what they wanted from you. And so, even if it wasn't the direct cause, this is definitely going to lead to that. It's going to lead to YouTube getting more premium subscription buys from this straight up evasion of privacy. They are forcing people to either dox themselves with their ID or through their card information, which you can already see the inherent issues there. It is a tactic to get more purchases of their premium subscription. Now, another thing to tack onto this is with the ID. Now, let's say you decide to put in your ID, and so that means you won't get YouTube Premium. Your ID is also very useful, and let's explain. Data brokers, people that sell data, okay? If your ID isn't attached to your account and YouTube wants to sell this ID to their advertisers to be able to send you more ads, then your data is worth a lot more. Like, for instance, what would theoretically, I don't know the prices of data, okay? But let's say your account data to a regular company is worth $100, okay? Now, if you have an ID associated with this to prove who you are, where you live, your region, and everything, that account data that used to be $100 might now be worth $500. So you can see that even if you don't go the premium route to theoretically buy YouTube Premium with the debit card, eventually YouTube is still benefiting if your ID is put on the platform, because they can sell your data and make more money off of it. And so no matter if you give up your ID or your credit card information, YouTube stands to gain. They are either going to sell your data if they know your ID, or they're straight up going to be able to one day convince you to buy YouTube Premium, because they're going to spam you with ads. No matter what direction you go, YouTube gains. They gain money here. They only stand to gain from this entire situation, and they're using the optics of think of the kids, protect the kids, determine if you're under 18 or not, to be able to get away with this. They're doing the exact same tactics that the UK is doing, that Australia is doing, that Europe is doing, that Collective Shout is doing, that these payment process are doing. They are doing the exact same thing that these companies have been doing now, especially in these last 2 weeks. And what's really gross about this is when you take 2 moments or 2 seconds to think about the situation, everything about protect the kids falls apart with YouTube's arguments. And let's explain that. So let's look at the credit card information for a second. So let's say you use your debit/credit card to be able to determine you're an adult or not. How is YouTube supposed to know that it isn't a kid grabbing their parents' wallet, opening it up, and grabbing their debit and credit card and putting it on their account? What's to say they don't do that? A kid does not do something like that. It won't stop a kid doing that. And if it is that simple to verify the process that you're an adult, then it's not helping anything. It's not going to protect kids whatsoever. All it's going to do is that your debit and credit card information is on YouTube's site, and one day you can make a purchase either to rent a movie, buy a movie, or buy YouTube Premium. That is the only purpose of your credit card, debit card being there. It's not to verify if you're an adult or not. Then we got to look at the ID situation. Obviously, it is definitely a better option of protecting against maybe a minor account, but it doesn't change the fact that the same thing can happen. A kid can go into their parents' wallet, grab their ID, put it there, and scan it. But the fact that there's an option of a credit card, that's just so much easier. But let's still get back into the ID thing. The kid can do the exact same thing, scan the ID, and instantly they gain access to the account. But even if we want to say that's even a much better process, it doesn't disregard the fact of data collection from it. It's extremely gross. Then we got to look at other things that really just start to blow even more holes into the situation. YouTube Kids. What is the point in YouTube having an entire section of their platform dedicated and called YouTube Kids if they're not even going to use it, if they're not going to utilize it or improve it? Instead, they introduce this AI to determine if you're under 18 or not. It's very obvious what the optics here is. It's obviously not about protecting kids. It's about gathering data. And the crazy part about the situation is that YouTube can easily act like they're innocent here, because they can say, the UK made us do it. The UK's Online Safety Act made us do it. We're innocent. They forced us to do this. We're so sorry, everyone. We didn't want to do this, but they're forcing us to do this. And they can easily try to get away with it. But don't let YouTube and Google gaslight you into assuming that they are not the ones pushing this. Because I want to reiterate this. This is happening in the US. The US. This is not UK. This is happening in the US. They don't have to do this, especially in the US, but they are. Which showcases that this is their intention to make more money and profit off of everything going on around the world with the whole censorship and credit cards and everything. Gross behavior. Do not let YouTube and Google gaslight you into thinking it's anything but trying to gather information from you. Now, there is another thing to tackle onto this entire situation. What is the point of COPA? You guys know COPA? Like, if you're a regular browser of someone that just browses content, you might not know this. This is mainly for content creators. But anyone that obviously has used YouTube and uploads videos knows what COPA is. And it literally asks if this video is made for adults or not, and asking if it's, for people above 13 and 14 and all that. You have this whole little segment on YouTube to make it even more of a hassle to get your video monetized. What's the point of that if YouTube is also implementing something like this? Because if you make your video 18 plus, the video is demonetized or limited ads. That's what happens if a video is for actual adults. So you have another issue there, is that if your video is strictly for adults, you don't even make money on YouTube, or limited money at that. So you see the point here. There is a lot of things that just start to poke holes in this. It was not thought out very far, and it's very clear this is just to scare people into giving their ID and their credit card information over. Wild. So yeah, don't let YouTube gaslight you into this. I wanted to talk about this because this is extremely important. It is tackling on more information that, has been coming out. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff I want to cover, like this and all that, and then this as well. And I might make a separate video later today or maybe tomorrow talking about it. But for now, I strictly wanted to talk about this mask off moment from YouTube because it's very important to spread awareness of it. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.